Vietnam's fairy tales, The Tale of the Frog. Once upon a time, there was a young and famous monk well known for his dedication to Buddhism. He completely detached himself from earthly desires and focused solely on the emptiness of Zen. The king respected the monk's reputation, summoned him to the palace, and gave him the title of national monk and asked to restore a pagoda in the south of the capital for his practice. The monk thanked the king, but refused to settle. He'd like to wander to see pagodas and beautiful sceneries all over the country. One day, the monk went by himself to a distant temple in the north, where the head monk was a friend that he hadn't seen for a long time. Lady Buddha had long heard about the monk. This time, on the occasion of the monk's going out, Lady Buddha wanted to check his dignity. If he was indeed a true monk, Buddhas would take him to Buddha's land and supported him to become a Buddha. When the monk was about to cross a large river, Lady Buddha transformed into a very beautiful young girl who anchored there waiting. That day, thanks to the miracle of Buddha, that section of the river became deserted. Very few people and boats passed by. When the monk got into the boat compartment, the girl rowed into the middle of the river. Then she steered the boat to a deserted sandy beach. The monk was surprised, asking her why she did not go straight to the other bank. The girl just waited for that question to let go the paddle, smiled in a slinking way, then slipped into the compartment to answer jokingly that he was too handsome. She would stop here begging for love. Already hearing about the bonus of girls in this region, the monk kept a serene face, saying, "Amitabha, may you laymen let alone monks." But the fairy woman did not let go. She tried to get close provocatively. The venerable monk did not say a word, silently opened his bag and took out the Diamond Sutra to read. His reading grew louder and louder, drowning out the sound of the fairy woman. But she kept laughing and talking incessantly. Then she covered her hand over the sutra. The monk turned his neck and looked out of the fairy and warned, "Amitabha, I have an order from the king. The king had declared that anyone who committed a crime against me would be sentenced to death. I hope you do not violate this order." The monk's threat did not change the girl though. She said, "I want to die now. I just hope you love me a little bit, and then I'm ready to die." But for a long time, the monk was so firm, the fairy woman applied another trick to seduce him. She began to take off her dress. When her dress dropped, the monk closed his eyes. He turned to his bed and took the robe to put on her. In the cramped compartment, the monk kept reciting prayers and hands counting the bead string. Meanwhile, the girl's voice was like honey pouring into his ears. "Please love me a little. Look, there is no one out there." But all in vain. Lady Buddha was deeply touched. These Buddhist followers deserve Nirvana. But the test had to be continued to the end. On the ninth attack, the fairy woman was still rejected. The young and beautiful girl's breath was on the monk's cheeks, but his expression remained unchanged. But for the 10th time, the girl did not expect that the fortified rampart would be brought down so unexpectedly. The monk's hand suddenly trembled over her. That meant in just a minute, more than 20 years of cultivation was thrown away. Lady Buddha was not happy. As the monk failed to persevere under the temptation of lust, his own reputation was no longer worth counting. Lady Buddha grabbed the monk's neck and threw him right into the river like a garbage. Even so, Lady Buddha thought it was not enough for that sin. She turned him into a small frog. Therefore, it is said that today the lineage of frogs still retains the habits of their ancestors. When being beheaded, they put the front legs together like people in venerating.